join me in welcoming to Green Rev 2025 Shri Pralhad Joshi, the Honorable Union Minister of New and Renewable Energy, who has picked up the mantle of India's energy transformation, championing policies and initiatives that are reshaping the nation's energy future.
आप सभी को नमस्कार. Today India stands among the global leaders. India is the only country which has achieved 50% of its installed capacity by non-fossil fuel. Whatever has been done in last 10 years, 1.4%, 1.5% was the blending, ethanol blending. Today it has become 20%. We are also supporting the compressed biogas developers through the waste to energy component of National Bioenergy Program. Those who have purchase agreements with the government oil companies under the SATAT, that is Sustainable Alternative towards the Affordable Transportation. So keeping all these things in mind, I am happy to share that India's CBG sector has expanded significantly from a single 8 TBT tons per day project in 2014 to 150 projects with cumulative 1,211 TBT capacity. Today's program rightly highlights the fusion of the green revolution with reviving mobility, perfectly captures the kind of the integrated, forward-looking thinking that is essential for shaping India's energy Atmanirbhar future. In line with this some months back, we launched the first ever trials of hydrogen-powered heavy-duty trucks. Moreover, 5 pilot projects have been sanctioned to deploy 37 hydrogen-fueled vehicles and 9 refueling stations with financial outlay of Rs 208 crores. To further enable India's leadership in future fuels, we have launched the National Green Hydrogen Mission, targeting 5 million metric ton of green hydrogen production annually by 2030. Hence, we have complementing with CBG, ethanol, green hydrogen to build a diversified, resilient, clean mobility ecosystem. And of course, another landmark achievement was the launch of the Global Biofuel Alliance during India's G20 presidency. It brings together like-minded nations dedicated in advancing the biofuels as a viable, affordable, and sustainable energy source. This reflects Prime Minister's leadership in shaping not just India's, but the global clean energy future. I would also like to acknowledge the leadership of True Earth Bioenergy under the leadership of Shri Vijay Nirani. It is one of the largest ethanol producers in India, and I commend its commitment in building the greener India. Let us move forward with a conviction that India will not only meet its energy goals, but will lead the world in showing how growth and sustainability can go hand in hand. Let Green Rev 2025 be the spark that inspires a new partnership, new ideas, and a renewed commitment building an energy Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you. Once again, I thank you all.
So we're going to move on now to our next session on GAIL reinventing itself. We've got a wonderful guest, Rajiv Singhal, Director of Business Development at GAIL India. Thanks very much, Mr. Singhal, for being with us. How would CBG work in conjunction with CNG, and how is it essential in a way for our decarbonization goals?
To achieve decarbonization or our net zero emissions of 2070, CBG is going to produce a major role. Without CBG, it will be kind of very expensive to achieve it. Reason being, first, we all know that I think the kind of animal waste, solid waste and municipal waste which we are generating of the order of 7,500 million ton, there is potential of about 40 to 60 million ton per annum of natural gas, of CBG. Whereas our today's import bill is only 25 million ton we are importing, 25 million ton of natural gas. So there is huge potential. What government is envisaging is that even if we can produce 15 million ton, which is which that will also going to, which is easily achievable relatively, because not entire solid and municipal waste or animal waste is perhaps, addressable. Even the addressable resource can produce, at least should be able to produce 15 million ton of CBG.
What about government initiatives, policy incentives? What exists presently, and what would you like to see in terms of potentially more incentives to allow this transition to take place?
No, I think government has never ever given so many incentives to any other industry as has been given. As I was mentioning, I'll just mention, see, in order to, if you are setting up a plant, then MNRE is providing you a subsidy based on, I think it's about 4 crore rupees for every 5-ton plant. If you are setting up any kind of CBG that you get from MNRE, if you are setting up a MSW-based biogas plant, then MAHUA is providing you subsidy, which is limited to, I think, 18 crore and is likely to be announced to 24 crore per plant. So that is, again, this is also just a capital subsidy. Then if it is your plant is based on agriculture waste, then government is having a scheme to fund agriculture machinery, wherein 90 lakh rupees per set subsidy is being provided. Then if you have, once you have set up the plant, taken the machinery, and now you are producing CBG and you want to transmit it to, let us say, the nearby CGD company's pipeline, then government is again giving subsidy up to 75 lakh rupees for steel pipeline per kilometer, and then 50 lakh rupees, I think, per kilometer for steel pipe, and 7.5 lakh rupees per kilometer for MDPE pipe. This subjected to an upper limit of, I think, 28-29 crore. So this is again subsidy. Then thereafter, transmission, government is also ensuring that this is off-taken at the very good price. The kind of price which we are getting, 1478 is the latest, 1478 rupees per MMBTU. It is extremely good price for selling this. Then FOM is also being assured to be sold off. Then thereafter, CGDs are being mandated to must buy it, so that if they are not buying it, they will have to buy the certificate, and government will shortly come out with green attributes which will be given to these CBG plants, and companies will be allowed to do it. So there is a series of incentives.
Mr. Singhal, great speaking to you. Thank you so much for telling us a little bit about GAIL and your look ahead at this sector. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, a significant milestone in India's clean energy roadmap, a strategic partnership to accelerate the development of India's compressed biogas sector. This collaboration between TrueAlt Bioenergy and GAIL India Limited aims to develop a nationwide network of compressed biogas plants, advancing India's energy transition.
What we're looking at doing in this particular session is to examine biofuels as a catalyst for rural upliftment. Can India replicate successful models where biofuel production has boosted local economies while supporting greener mobility? These are just a couple of themes.
So Vishnu, biofuels has two dimensions to it. And the first one is that India imports about 180 billion worth of fossil fuel. We are the third largest importer of energy across the world. And therefore, our economy gets very badly skewed because of being an importer of energy. We need to diversify. Secondly, there's a big challenge of rural livelihoods. And biofuels gives us the huge possibility of both cutting down very sharply on energy imports, which are used for transportation, using biofuels to converge with petrol, which Brazil does, for instance. Brazil, if you go, all cars are designed up to 90% of biofuels. Every car manufacturer actually redesigned his car for Brazil to enable 90% of ethanol mixing with petrol. Secondly, not only will you be able to reduce very sharply, but you'll be able to create a vast number of rural jobs in India. The challenge for India is that, Brazil has a lot of water. So it is able to do sugarcane. It is able to convert sugarcane into ethanol, and water is not a challenge. In India's case, water is a challenge. And therefore, you need not merely stubble, but you need a lot of municipal waste. India's, one of the key challenges for India is to keep its municipalities, its rural areas neat, clean, tidy. And to be able to use a lot of your municipal waste, a lot of your oil fuel waste, all being converted into biofuels is a very, very huge opportunity for India.
Segregation of waste is key to enabling all of this to happen. That's on theory. In our country, we don't have the culture of segregating waste. This is something countries around the world do very successfully, and that enables them to recycle in many cases. How does this initiative of segregating, waste, how is that absolutely critical towards what you're talking about?
There's no question of any culture. I've seen Indore, I've seen Surat, all these cities, Mysore, all these cities transform within 2 to 3 years. You go to Indore, you go to Surat, you go to Mysore, you feel a great sense of pride among the citizens of those cities. Citizens do waste segregation at household level. It's only in places like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, where citizens are irresponsible. And I think the government needs to come down heavily, the municipalities need to come down heavily, and actually levy massive fines on citizens who do not do this. You create a sense of pride amongst the people. It's the failure of municipal governance, it's the failure of citizenry, and the municipal governance must come down really, really heavily on citizens. Each one of us must do segregation at household level to enable municipality to pool, collect, and then process that waste at household level. And that will enable you to actually ensure that you do not have large dumping sites and you do not collect garbage mountains anymore in these cities. It's very, very important that we act. Don't blame the government all the time. I think we ourselves are to be blamed in a very big way, to a great extent. But it's absolutely critical. If some cities in India could do this, if certain rural areas can do this, if certain villages can do this, then I think each one of Indian cities can do it.
What this may be, if we are successful in collecting, waste from rural India and converting it into fuel in terms of jobs?
So, several schemes have done this. PM Satat, for instance, said that there's a possibility of creating over 1 million jobs. Now, the challenge is that Indian agriculture today accounts for almost 46% of your population, while it accounts for only 18% of the total GDP output, but 46% of your population. In China and many other countries, the extent of population which is dependent on agriculture has come down very sharply. Post-COVID in India, it went up from about 41.5% to 46%. That means the dependency of people on agriculture has gone up. Now, people in agriculture it's all informal jobs. People in agriculture are not going to get rich without several things happening. One is without horticulture, without floriculture, without dairy, and without additional earnings from biofuel. That is, use the waste in agriculture, convert it into power so that that becomes a big source of earning for them.
Why are we not talking about green hydrogen with the same vigor that we are talking about compressed biogas? Is it because of pricing issues, technology issues, safety issues, or ultimately, do you see green hydrogen to be a realistic alternative for across India?
Oh, India's push for green hydrogen in a very big way. We are talking with a lot of energy. India has a green hydrogen mission. But we must understand that green hydrogen is produced by cracking electricity, renewable energy cracked by electrolyzers to produce, using water, and then you produce green hydrogen. Now, the challenge for green hydrogen is that the price of green hydrogen is about $4.50 per kilogram. It becomes viable when we are able to bring down the price of green hydrogen from $4.50 to $1 per kilogram. The only country which has the possibility of producing green hydrogen in a very large scale is India, simply because the climatic conditions are there and simply because we have renewable energy and we'll have a lot of, what we call as pumped power stations, that is hydropower stations, pumped gas stations, which can then store and do renewables. So India's challenge is now many companies have started producing electrolyzers. India has the possibility of being the cheapest producer of green hydrogen.
I'm just trying to understand, we often talk about who's going to finance anybody's transition to green technology. It's colossally expensive, there are new technologies. But does that argument necessarily apply to India? In many cases, we have the technology. It's a question of implementation and making it attractive. So when we talk about a transition to cleaner energy and who pays for it, does that really apply to India?
No. We must understand that actually almost 90% of the carbon space has already been occupied by the developed world. And 1% of the companies, 1% of the fossil fuel companies in the world account for 49% of the greenhouse gas emission. Right. And, they are being politically backed because they are funders of elections across the world. And therefore, it's very important that the data, that the amount of fossil fuel that they bring out must be put out. That data must be put out, and much like stock exchanges today are able to put out, very clearly whether stock markets are going up or going down, the extent of greenhouse gas emission that they are producing should be put out in public domain so that the people of the world are then able to punish fossil fuel companies. Is very, very important. But it's very important that for a country like India to become a champion of green energy, we must know that net zero will be net positive for us. And therefore, we should consciously push for more and more green energy. We are climatically blessed. Nobody else is more climatically blessed than India. This is an opportunity for India. India must take the lead and become the biggest champion of green energy. India must become the global leader for green energy. This is our moment. This is our opportunity.
Amitabh, Kant, always wonderful to speak to you. Thank you very much. And thank you, sir, very much for speaking to us today.
Thank you.
In this session, we will talk about taking the SATAT, or Sustainable Alternative Towards Affordable Transportation Initiative, to the next level. Please join me in welcoming our panelists, Mr. Vishal Nirani, Abhilesh Gupta, Dr. Gaurav Mishra, and Naamdev Kadam. Mr. Nirani, my first question is to you. As a producer, you also encounter a lot of rural waste. How do you take that from waste to CBG? What is the process and what are the key challenges that you face?
The availability of agri-residue waste is totally about 750 million tons in the country. Out of this 750 million tons, close to 250 to 300 million tons can be converted to bioenergy. Out of this 250 to 300 million tons, about 150 to 175 million tons can be converted to compressed biogas. And the rest can be used to convert to fuel, steam, and power. Compressed biogas plants can be set up using this agri-residues. The sugar industry can revolutionize it because they have the feedstock available, be it press mud, your agri cane trash, which helps the CBG plants to produce.
Mr. Abhilesh, how do you see CBG distribution network expanding both in terms of its availability and viability?
I've seen this industry grow in last 4 or 5 years. It has a huge potential with respect to converting it to a industry which is basically generating employment as well as providing wealth to the rural economy. Problem here is that I have seen that there is no synchronization between different ministries while you are talking about promoting CBG. While there is a huge focus by Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, mandate is also there. But I don't see that there is a sync with respect to Ministry of Finance.
Mr. Mishra, what do you have to say about that? And can you suggest some potential solutions for this?
We are working very closely with the other departments and ministries, like MOPNG, who is one of the off-taker for the CBG, then Department of Fertilizer, who is taking care of the FOM and the LFM proportion and all. This being one of a sunrise sector in the country, So there will always be challenges for every sunrise sector. And there is where the role of a government comes into picture. So we understand the challenges, we are making whatever the policies which we have created, we are reforming it on a regular intervals and all.
Mr. Namdev, as a technology provider, what are the challenges that you foresee that need immediate attention, and what technologies need to develop so that the CBG plant becomes more profitable and viable?
About 10 years ago, those sugar mills are generating ample amount of biogas out of spent wash. But the disposal of this biomethated spent wash is a real challenge. And that's why even distilleries were not running throughout the year. So my company, Raj Process, has come out with a very concrete solution to achieve ZLD, that is zero liquid discharge, as in case of this biomethated spent wash. So far Raj Process has supplied the ZLD technology to most of the sugar mills in Maharashtra as well as in Karnataka. So this part is well assured now. That is biogas generation out of spent wash and upgrading this biogas to CBG.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen.